Hello, everybody, and welcome. Back by popular demand, we have Uncle Jim, and we are starting a really special thing for you guys. We have a general how-to series on how he did all of this really, really artistic piece for so little money. So let's get Uncle Jim to join us, and let's see what he's been up to lately.
Thanks for having me again, Ryan.
Anytime.
What I did, what I had to do was start to think of the details that are going to happen inside my pit area, because I wanted to design a pit that reflected Nürburgring, which had open pitways, and guys would jump out to work on the cars, and it would protect them from fire. I was able to scrounge some Lego from my grandson, and it looked perfect for a brick pillar coming up. So technically I need 30 of these to come up with a pit wall between that the crew would jump over. I needed to know what I was going to do here because I wanted to design the workbenches and compressors and things that go on the inside. So I had to make sure that all this was to scale and look good. So this is the inside of one, and I started to make these workbenches.
Very cool. I gotta ask, how did you make that workbench?
Let me show you. I cast the legs. Let me show you.
Very, very nice. Let's get into it.
I got this out of a magazine, or actually a catalog, and I wanted to make it to scale. So I broke everything down into 1/32 scale, and using the Plastistructs and strip styrene from Evergreen, I used the appropriate pieces and glued this together, Ryan.
Very cool.
You see that it's a framework, and it's based on that drawing, the right height, the right length, and I needed to build a prototype to see how it looked in there, make sure that it wasn't too big. So what I did with this, because I need 18 of these, mostly for the pits, and a couple for the garage, and a couple for the First Aid Health Center. You know, I'll do that in white. So using these resins right here, I mix these 50-50. I've used these for a while, and sometimes if I don't mix enough of the two, I get a sponginess like this, this is almost worthless to me. So I've got to be careful to make sure that I get the right amount together. And I took this and made a mold out of blue stuff.
Hold up this here.
Yeah, we can show you what that is. It's made. You can order it from Green Stuff World. It's. I think it comes from across the sea, but it really works out well because you heat this in boiling water, you pull it out, and it's hot, but not too hot that you can't work it. I flatten it down with a board, and I use silicone or mold release to make sure that the board does not stick to the blue. Take the blue piece again, put it back in the hot water. It softens up again, and then I take my original and I press it in like that. Take another board, lay it on top, press down, put that in the refrigerator for about an hour, pull the board off, pull this off, and you'll note that it still flexes. And mixing these two, as I said, accurately in a simple paper cup. You can see the last time I used this, and I pour it in. Now a trick I learned to make sure it's 50-50 is I'll take my cup and I'll put, with a marker, I'll put a dot inside the cup. Let's get a fresh one, Ryan.
Yes. Let me hand this to you.
Yeah, oops, it's got glue inside there. All right, so I take these two and I'll make a mark, and then I will make another mark in there that's exactly the same height up above. That's how I get a 50-50 mix. It's as simple as that. But if you don't do that, and you can really mess it up and end up with this.
with real flexible pieces.
Real flexible pieces, which I don't need. So, long story short, we mix them 50-50. And before it hardens, I get about 5 minutes to work with it. I pour it in, and when I finish, I can take a business card like this and squeegee off the excess. Now, usually I'll have another mold going, so if I have any excess, I can put it into there, into another mold. so I don't waste it. This cost about $35. And the thing is, it's got a shelf life. It doesn't say it does, but if you don't use it within, I'd say, 3 or 4 months, the hardener begins to crystallize. But once I start, I usually use it up because I make molds of all kinds of different things. So let me show you how this breaks out. Once the mold is hardened, I can pull it out, and you see all this excess. You can go ahead and pull that off, and it ends up looking like this, with just a little bit. When Ryan's done with that, it'll just have a little bit on it. Yeah, actually, he does a better job than I do. And I can file it and get it square. And I won't take the time to do it all now, but I realize that if something has a real sharp corner, it doesn't take paint well, and it doesn't look realistic. So I try to sand the corners down a little bit. So with these now, I needed 36, right? Because I want to build 18 of these, and I need 2 of them. And if you notice, I used the Plastistrux that has a little lip on it. Now, this isn't cast properly, but that will never show. Because what I do then, if you just hold that there, Ryan,
yes,
so I can demonstrate, I take a business card, and I cut it the appropriate width, and I paint it gray. And that is going to end up sitting on those 2 ledges, like that. And on top of that will go the workbench top. Now this too, I made out of styrene and a business card. And I glued little tools I had. I had like 6 little tools. Years ago I got them. I don't know where I got them, but I got them and I glued them on there. Now they came off since then because I've used this to cast so many pieces. And this is what they end up look like when they come out of the casting. See the little tools on there? Now this was a really rough one. I can file that down and smooth it out and get it to look like this. Actually like this. So that's ready for paint right there. And then I'll paint that gray and go back, and before I glue it together, I'll fill in the details for the tools that I told you about. Once I get that done, I glue them together. This one happens to have a red shelf at the bottom. I want it to be gray, so I pre-painted these in gray. So you want me to show you one going together?
Yeah, let's see it.
All right, let's see. Usually I get blocks like this, which give me a lot of squareness, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
And is this the one you cleaned off, Ryan? I think.
I believe it is, yes.
Let me just touch it up a little bit more before we glue it together. Just get those hard edges off there. So what we're going to do now is stand this guy up. Oh wait, you know what? I know why this isn't done. We didn't paint it yet.
Huh.
Okay, so
There we go.
so I started to tell you that I wanted the bottom plate to be gray like the top, and the benches have to be typically blue, red, or green. So Ryan, can you hand me one of those sheets up there?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, but the first thing I do, guys, is I paint everything I do black. So here's a piece that's completely painted black. When it dries in about an hour or so, I spray them on a piece of cardboard in my paint booth. You don't need a paint booth for just this. And you notice that when I paint it, I don't paint it real hard. Give me the red one, Ryan. You can see better. These happen to be green. I've got these facing up because they're going to stay white on the back facing the wall of the pits. And these will be facing out, and the inside won't show. So I've got them turned 50-50. This gives you a better illustration of how weathered it ends up looking if you paint it black first. You see, I'm going to spin this around there for you, Derek, so you can see. See the dark shadows? That makes all the difference in the world in a part. It goes from looking like a toy to looking like something real. So Ryan, let's pick up 2 of these guys.
Sounds good.
This one and this one.
Yes.
And we'll put this one back so we don't get things mixed up. Now we can glue it together. So it's a simple matter of taking a piece of tape, and I use these blocks all the time in my modeling to make things square. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the same thing on this side for the other side. Now this will be out and that'll be in. So I'm going to get, you know what, the tape is not wanting to stick to that block because I got a little bit of that silicone on it, I think. but it looks painstaking, right? But I enjoy doing this kind of stuff and seeing the end result. So those guys are ready to go there. What I'm going to do is pick up one of the little cards that I pre-cut. Again, this was just a business card. You know, you don't have to buy fancy plastic. And I'm going to add a touch of, now this is a new tube, so it may surprise us and really come out strong, but I can spread that out. That's about all we need. Could you hold it for me, buddy?
Yes, I can.
Okay, this is going to go on right here like this. And I'm going to wait 15 seconds. And it should begin to hold. And if it doesn't, I'm going to use an agent to help it stay put. Let me do this, and I'm going to go get the hardener so we can use that. Okay, I didn't get that ready. I forgot the correct name, poly something or other. I should know exactly what it is, but as far as I'm concerned, it's super glue. The super glue I use, I get from the dollar store. I don't buy the expensive stuff. What do we do with that, Ryan? Let's close that up so it dries, okay? Yeah, this is a dollar store. For $1, I get like 6 or 7 of these, and it's certainly the way to go. I'll come into here and pick some of this up, and I'll make sure that that's pretty close to being level where I want it. I'm going to just add, can you see that, guys? And capillary action takes it right across. Bingo. It's hard.
Huh.
It hardens it immediately. So we're going to use this again. Ryan, could you close this? What did I do with that sprayer? Here it is.
There we go.
Now, I don't use the sprayer because it just covers everything. I use, what do you call this? You can get this at the drugstore. Forgot what it's called, to be honest with you.
It's an eyedropper kind of.
I like an eyedropper, yeah. But it helps me control it. So now I'll take this guy right here, and I'll put glue on him too. What do I do with that? Thank you, sir. I'll turn this around so you can see it. Again, this is white, but no one will see it because it'll be inside. You know, I got to take some shortcuts. I've got so much to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, so if you'd hold that again, I'm going to bring these together like this. It's square, nice, and bingo. That's done. And I know it's going to dry square. Now for us, there you go, I need that. What do I do with the, there it is. Okay, I got so much junk here because I got so many little jobs going. Give it just a little bit across there. Okay, so I'm going to put that back there. All right, now we'll let that harden. Meantime, I showed you these benches, and it went from this, or actually, this is the prototype, made the mold, this came out of the mold, this is one that's cleaned up, painted it gray, and then went back and detailed all the little tools on it. Let's see if this is hardened enough for us now. Hopefully it has. So I'm going to pull that off. We'll save that another day. Don't waste tape.
You can always reuse it, right?
Oh, I do. You see tape stuck to all my cabinets. How do you think I got away with only spending $300 on this Racetrack? And there's the piece right there. So we know this is the front, this is the back. There's a better look at, you know, the distressing on it. Everything on my track is painted flat black, and then we use that. Then I'll go back and shade that with chalk. It's a simple matter now of picking up one of these guys and placing them on there. But remember, it's got to butt up against a wall in the pits, so we want that to be as square as we can. So Ryan, we're going to take that glue again, and I'm going to pull this off because capillary action will take it right onto that, and we'll end up gluing it to that block, which has happened to me many times. You know, if I wasn't in a hurry, I'd use a little bit of wax paper to make sure. So that goes to you. This comes back up to it, and then this goes on there, and we only get a whoa! See that? We only got a second to get it right. Look at these old fingers in action. Okay, get that as square as we can. There, just like that, and like that. How's that look, buddy?
Looks great.
Remarkable.
Okay, so there's bench number 2. Huh. Now, if you notice that this guy right here didn't get painted black ahead of time. You guys see the difference?
Yeah.
I did
Yes.
this because the Free Press wanted to do an article, and I had to hurry up and get it painted red. And note that it's gray now instead of red, so the more changes in color you can add to it, the more interesting and realistic the effect is.
Absolutely.
So this guy's done, and we got to do this times 17.
17. Wow. Well, thank you so much for showing us how to do all this. This is really
buddy,
cool.
Sure. Thanks for your patience.
This was very interesting to watch. I'm sure everyone will get a kick out of it.
We can talk more about this. This is a real interesting product.
Oh, yeah.
To cast everything from the Jersey highway barriers that I use, and we can pour plaster Paris into them, to doing the finer things like this.
Right. Well, maybe we'll save that for another video, keep them coming back, right? Well,
Okay.
Anyway, thank you again for showing us
You're
how
welcome.
to do all this.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. So if you want to see more of this sort of how-to video that we got going, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. What would you like to see? All right. We'll see you guys in the next one. Signing off.